Hello and welcome to Talk About Strange. If this is your first time here, thank you for joining us. This is a non-judgmental channel where people get to write in and share their stories with us, and I share them with you guys, and we get a lot of really cool stuff. So if you enjoy this kind of stuff, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and continue this journey with us. We are coming up on 20,000 subscribers. I'm just blown away by it. And I couldn't have done it without all of you guys' help. So I really appreciate you. I got a video coming up and after this that I'm going to be posting that I already made, that I'm posting after we hit that actual 20,000 mark, talking about kind of a recap of what we've done so far in our journey together. And so I hope you guys will watch and enjoy that. It's really cool. And there's just a lot of fun stuff. We got a lot of great stuff to come for the channel and this next channel that's going to be starting up. So look forward to that. We're not quite done with our move yet. As you can see, it's been a little bit more difficult than we predicted with the economy and with the real estate market and stuff, but things are starting to come together. We should be closing on our house here in the next couple, 2-3 weeks. So we'll have to be out of here. So you guys aren't going to see me for a little spell there, but don't worry. I promise I will be back. Keep sending your stories to me. If you guys got stories you want to share, this is a non-judgmental channel. I got just a wonderful group of people here, the TAS family, that will show you a lot of love and respect. So send those stories in to us. Bigfoot encounters, alien encounters, Skinwalker encounters, whatever you got, send that in to us and I will share it on the channel. Anything you want to talk about, it's Talk About Strange, so don't be afraid to send that in, and we're going to keep this ride going. We got a lot more to come. I'm really looking forward to announcing that next channel, and like I said, I got a video coming up next that's going to be about that 20,000 mark anniversary or whatever, or milestone, as you want to call it. But anyway, I got some really good stories here. I want to get right to that. Oh, what else? Jeez, did I say it all? I think I said it all, didn't I? Did I say too much? I don't know. Hit that like and subscribe button. We're going to have a lot of fun. You guys are going to want to stick around. Okay, let's get on this possible Skinwalker encounter. And we have some devil encounters from our friend Rhonda. And this is from Arizona, Angie, this first one. And then Rhonda that sends in the multiple encounter stories. She sent us a few devil encounter type stories. So this will be interesting. Hi, Steve. Arizona Angie here. I'd like to share the strange with you. A sighting of a strange being that took place in May of 2018 in Arizona. A couple of days ago, my daughter-in-law started recounting a strange sighting that still gives her the chills. In 2018, I drove from California to Arizona to accompany my son and family for a camping trip to the Theodore Roosevelt Lake, aka Roosevelt Lake. It's located about 80 miles northeast of Phoenix, Arizona. It's a really beautiful lake. The surrounding area is lush and scenic, desert brush and mountain views. Absolutely gorgeous. We camped in Cholla Campground located off of Arizona Highway 188. This campground sits back from the actual lake. The sighting of a strange being was experienced by my son and his wife. On our second night of tent camping, they decided to take a late night drive out to the desert off the dirt back roads to the Tonto Basin, which more or less is where we were located. The dirt road they took led them across the creek bed and back onto the mountain area of the Tonto Basin. First, a little background on the area. At one time, this historic area was inhabited by the Tonto Apache, which is why they are known which is why it's known as the Tonto Basin. It's sad, it was the area of their last stronghold against being captured. They took a dirt road that led them across the creek. I don't know which road it was. There's a few. As they drove a slow speed due to the dirt road, about 15 miles per hour, their headlights shone upon a strange-looking feature standing about 100 feet or so in front of them to the passenger side. It appeared to be a color of a mountain lion or deer, but they became really spooked, and they realized it was big. Standing on 2 feet, it appeared to be the height of a person. As they watched in confusion, it stood still, never acknowledging them. It didn't turn its face to them. It was looking straight across the road in the opposite side. Its arms dangled in front of it. The torso was strange looking too, almost like a human appearance, and they couldn't identify exactly what it was. After a second or two, it proceeded to cross the road. It crossed a dirt road in 2 to 3 steps, walking smoothly as it did. The profile and the head appeared to be drawn out, not the shape of a human head. It had outward appearance. They couldn't decide if it was some kind of a strange upright animal or a person wearing an animal head. The profile of the head was outward like the snout of a dog or a deer. They stopped and watched in silence as the whole moment played out. Once it crossed the road, they looked at each other and said, "Did you see that?" They were spooked. They turned around and went back to the camp. Neither of them have ever been into cryptids, so they were clueless as to what they saw. As for me, yes, I am. After hearing this account, I can only perceive it was possibly a skinwalker or a dogman. I would appreciate the comments from any listeners who are familiar with this area and know if anything related to this being is in the area. Thank you. Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. I mean, that's my first thought would be a skinwalker. I don't know about dogmen or wolfmen or anything like that in that area, but I know there's been like skinwalker sightings and stuff out there. So very interesting. Thank you for sending that to us, Angie. You guys, let her know if you've seen anything like that, if you've heard anything about that. I'd be interested to know that too. All right, let's move on to this next one, and these are from Rhonda. I think this was 1988. I'm not sure, but my daughter was around 4 and my son was 2. We went to the United States. By the way, Rhonda's from Canada, in case you don't know. And also, Rhonda is the one, she has her own channel now. She raises these really wild-looking cats. I mean, they're big. It's really cool. They're really friendly. And she actually sells them, too. So if you guys have any interest in that, I'll post up here her channel. If you want to know how to find her, let me know, and we can make the contact. She just sold to someone here, I think, that follows our channel and that, who was really thrilled about her purchase and how well she maintained and took care of the animals and how well loved they are. So really cool stuff. Anyway, I'll put a couple of those pictures up while we go through this. All right. Where was I? My daughter and my son was around 2. We went to the United States. And when we came back, my children were very, very sick with diarrhea and something wrong with their stomach. We couldn't get it under control, so they admitted them both to Cranbrook Hospital immediately. I was very worried about them. I would go check on them every day and spend time with them. They had them in isolation together. I asked my daughter, "How is Gooby doing?" That's what she used to call my son. "Is he crying the whole time and asking for mommy?" And she said, "No, mommy." The nurse rocks us in the rocking chair and looks after him, and I talk to the nurse in the chair too. She said they don't let children rock in the rocking chair. The rocking chair is for parents to rock their children when they have time. But there's a nurse rocking Conrad, Gooby, in the rocking chair. I asked, is that nurse rocking Gooby, Conrad, in the rocking chair? She said, "No, I can tell you there's not anyone there." So I asked my daughter what the nurse looked like. She said she had an all-white dress and a hat with a cross on it. Well, I 100% know nurses hadn't worn those outfits in many, many years. So this had to be a ghost nurse in the hospital. My son continued on till he left the hospital, and my daughter even interacted with her as well. And she told my daughter, "You and your brother are going to go home soon. You're going to be okay. It just takes a little while to work this out of your system. Then you'll be okay again." They had them on antibiotics at the hospital, but I was really surprised to find out that there was a ghost nurse looking after my children. When I asked the nurse about her, she said, "Oh yeah, that's Mary. She always comes to visit and looks after the children. She talks with them and rocks them in a rocker, but she's not a staff nurse here." Laugh out loud. As far as we know, she is a ghost, and we kind of accept her just the way she is. They didn't seem to be worried about it at all. I was pretty surprised to hear that there was actually they were actually okay with a ghost to look after our young children, and they didn't really care. When I was about 19 years old, I was staying with a young couple. This goes on to another story. I think, yeah, this jumps the story. So when I was about 19 years old, I was staying with a young couple at their house. They had a room to rent that I rented. The guy was kind of a pervert. He used to bother me when she wasn't home. Being a young Christian girl, I tried to stay in my room away from him because he walked around in a bathrobe flashing me and asking, "Do you like this?" It was kind of weird. So when I saw someone on the balcony looking in the window at my room, at first thought it was just him messing around again. But when I seen red eyes coming towards me, it scared me quite a bit. Then the pots and pans that were on the shelf that we used for cooking started flipping around and floating over my bed. I didn't know if I should run or stay, so I hid under my blanket and prayed, "God, I'm really afraid. Something is after me. I don't know what it is. Please, can you help me? Please send your angels to protect me while I sleep." When I peeked out from under the blanket, I saw a giant wing over my bed. It literally covered the whole bed. It was weird. I don't know why, but as I was sitting there, I was about to touch it. It was about 2 foot above me. I thought about touching it, and then all of a sudden I woke up and it was morning. So I phoned Mom McCaskill and had her husband come get me, and I moved out immediately. This is next story. I was staying with a friend down off John Street in Victoria. I'm thinking I was about 19, maybe 20 years old. I came across the St. John Bridge and it was kind of uphill. I either walked or rode my bike. This time I was walking. Whenever I saw somebody coming towards me, I always crossed the road. I never trusted people near me that early in the morning, around 4:30 to 5 a.m. I've always been very scared of crossing people on the street by myself, especially in the middle of nowhere. There was a service station up ahead of me about 50 yards. I could see the person coming in a distance, so I crossed the street on the side of the service station. I started to quicken my step to get towards the service station because I knew there, if someone tried to bother me, I'd be safer because of the service station that was always open very early. As for the person that crossed my path, they were on the other side of the road from me when they called my name. I found this very strange, but I started walking towards them across the road and noticed that I didn't recognize him. He had gray curly hair and had the look like a whitish silver eyes. He stood maybe 5'9" tall with a medium build, wearing blue jeans. I don't remember what kind of a shirt he was wearing, but he was calling my name, telling me to come here, come meet me. You will like me. I said, no, go away. I don't know who you are or how you know my name, but you need to go away. He said, you know who I am. I said, no, I don't know who you are. Then he said, I came to see you in your room one night. Okay, so that's where the story continues. I get it now. When it was the pots and pans and stuff. I realized, said, you're the devil, I said. I don't know what game you're thinking you're playing here, but I know exactly who you are and exactly what your name is. You're Satan, Lucifer, Old Saint Nick. And I'm a child of God, and I will be staying a child of God. So you need to go away before I call upon the angels to make you go away. I was heading towards the service station when right before my eyes, he disappeared like a poof of smoke and was gone. When I was like the fastest athlete that day because I ran to that service station and straight inside. The guy in the service station saw and heard everything. He asked what that was. I replied, I don't know. What do you think? Was it Satan trying to get a hold of me? All I knew is whatever it was, it left in a puff of smoke. He said, I've never seen anything like that in my life. I said, neither have I, then asked him if he could call me a cab because I was too shaky and scared to walk the rest of the way in case he'd come after me again. He called me a cab and I got in a cab. After that, I never ever walked in the morning without my bike because I could get away fast if I needed to. Now we get on to the third story. Just, touching back on that one. That's we talk about that kind of stuff, those kind of experiences and stuff like that. And I'd be interested if anybody else has had those kind of experiences and stuff in your life. But pretty interesting. All right. Third story. When I was still in Victoria, around 20, sometimes something years old, I was downtown on John Street. We used to go there to sing and praise the Lord. All the drug dealers and everyone would get mad at us. They hated us that we were down there praising the Lord when they were only a half a block away with prostitutes and stuff and drug dealers trying to make a buck. There was this one guy there that was well known to all the others as a worshiper of sort. He came up to us and said, "This is the only Bible you'll ever need, the 666 Bible." I said, "Well, I got my Lord's Bible, and that's good enough for me." But he got mad at me and took his cane and put it backwards and tried to strike me on top of my head with his cane. He got the cane up in the air above my head, and the cane blew up into little pieces, and splinters fell down all down the sidewalk and all over my lap and my head. I started feeling my head because I didn't know if it had hit me or not. Then my girlfriend said, "You're okay. I saw the whole thing." It was freaking incredible. I watched from the restaurant as the cane blew up into little pieces. Then that man left yelling and screaming. He was really angry. We were all afraid of him, and then about 3 weeks later, I saw him riding on a bus. I recognized him as a long-haired, negative guy with a cane. I looked over. I saw exactly who it was. He got out of his seat and came over and sat across the road from me. I thought, oh, here we go. But he was carrying the biggest Bible I've ever seen in my life. This Bible was huge. He came over and said he realized after he tried to hit me with his cane, he knew what happened was impossible and it must have been God. And so he gave his life to God that night and followed him from that day on. Cool. Very interesting. I guess that's one way to find God. Have something like that happen. If you're out there doing something bad and you try to hit somebody and your cane explodes or something, that's definitely enough to turn the tide, isn't it? All right, Rhonda, thank you for sharing that with us. Thank you, Arizona Angie, for sharing your story with us. We got a lot more stories coming in. I got stories I got to get to. So there's a lot more to come. Leave your comments in the comment section, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll continue to grow this channel like we are. Thank you so very much. I will see you again really soon.